Look, man, everybody been asking for it. Classic Dead End Hip Hop review.
Hey, look, we're doing class reviews now, thanks to you. But if you want to nominate, be responsible for nominating who we review and what we review, head over to the reward section. That being said, let's go.
Dead End Hip Hop Classic Patron review. Madvillainy. So Madlib and MF Doom, you know what I'm saying, collaborative project. So. This is no. Wait, hold on. Now I'm not gonna say anything negative because I actually think this is dope. I have one question for you after I gave my spiel out. This is the first time I listened to it. Like for this review, this is the first time I listened.
Really?
To it. Come on, Ken.
No.
I've never.
Why are you surprised by that?
Yeah.
He wasn't really feeling JJ.
Yeah, but the first time?
Yeah.
Why are you surprised?
Yeah, why are you surprised?
Because we've been doing this for so long, you would think at some point that he would go and listen
I don't know
to
why
it.
you surprised.
Wow.
Because I wasn't feeling JJ Doom like that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? I was
Oh yeah, and we reviewed JJ Doom, so you would think.
I wasn't expecting to listen to that.
And he said that in the review, so that's why I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
And then I was super late to Madlib. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time I really heard Madlib was when he came for A3C and he started working with Freddie Gibbs. That's like the first time. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I've been sleeping on Madlib, but listening to this, right? My question is I don't understand why it's a classic. But listening to it, my first go, you know what I'm saying? Like listening to it about 3, 4, 5 times. This is dope. Yeah. And then I went and I looked. I said, okay, what other albums came out in 04? Like what was its competition? And at the time, I was listening to Urban Legend by T.I. I was listening to.
I'm waiting for a competition.
Yeah.
No. I know, but I'm just saying. But at the time, I didn't even know who the hell MF Doom was.
Right.
Like he was nowhere near on my radar.
Yeah,
you know
me either.
So I didn't know of him. So I'm just naming the other albums that I was listening to. Red Light District by Ludacris, Hunger.
Stop, Mike.
by Boy Banks.
Stop.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop,
I'm just saying, what was out at the time?
It was a terrible time in hip hop. Like a commercial, it was. Like I was looking at that shit too. I was like, commercial hip hop was so bad.
Were you listening to Nelly's Suit too?
Yeah.
Dog, sweatsuit.
That
was Suit and Sweat.
No, it was sweatsuit. It was a double
Sweatsuit.
album.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, hip hop was in a really bad place on the commercial.
Okay, I'm just
Now listen to Nelly's first one. That one was on repeat.
I remember Red Light District. I was surprised to hear you say that though.
Yeah, no,
Kiss
I'm
the
just saying
Death
that's
came
what I
out
was
that
listening-
Urban Legend, if you talk about,
Right.
you know.
Urban Legend was good.
Yeah, Urban Legend.
Your boy Jada came out that. Jada
Yeah, he
Kiss
did
came out
too.
Kiss the Death.
I was a little underwhelmed with that project.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But that's why.
But see that, and you know what? And I'm glad you're saying that because I was looking to see what came out around that time. I'm like, this would have been the time that I probably should have got on an MF Doom.
Yes.
Because it's like the commercial was so bad around that time. Like I should have went searching for something else, and I didn't.
Yep.
And I just don't know how I missed the MF Doom train.
Yeah, I missed the MF Doom train.
Yeah.
So again, like listening to this,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I think it's a great project.
Yeah.
But I question why it was a classic though. What I liked about this was first and foremost was Madlib. I like how on this project, you know, it's 23 damn tracks. So when I first saw how long it was, I'm like, God damn, man, what the fuck is going on? But Madlib got a couple of his own joints, and even if it's like not like his own joints, like Rainbows. You know what I'm saying? Where MF Doom ain't really doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, oh, okay, so you're just part of the beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're a part of an instrument, and Madlib is doing this thing. So I like the fact that, like, it really felt collaborative. Like, okay, Madlib is a star on this too, and I'm gonna let you shine. So I love that aspect. I caught that right away. But then, like, listening to MF Doom, man, that motherfucker had lines like a motherfucker on here when he was talking about Anita Baker. You know what I'm saying? Like, do the fucking slapper or whatever, and then get your royalties and shit. You know me with lines. He probably like that. But no, MF Doom had lines on here. You know what I'm saying? I think that this was.
It's not even about the lines, bro. It's about the way he puts the lines together.
Yeah. Well,
I know what you're saying, but it's just like it's different, man. It's just different.
No, he
way different.
No, he is way
Everything
different.
else that was out at that time.
And
Yes.
that's what kind of makes it a classic. Because it came out, remember we talked about what defines a classic, right? We said anything that reestablishes what hip hop is or changes the game. I feel like at that point, damn near anything MF Doom did
he was
was
like on the-
challenging lyricists.
Yeah.
It was like, you can't rap like this. So for him to come out with an album that was a collaborative project like this, and for every single song to just be lines, nobody could rap like that. I mean, I still don't think really people can rap like this, but at this point, nobody could rap like that. Madlib's beats, the way he crafted them to go perfect with
The whole villain theme,
Yes.
everything, yes.
Dude,
It
that's
sounded like a comic book. Like there were tracks on here that sounded like a
answered your own
motherfucking.
question.
It did.
You gotta really think about it.
But he, okay, so you're asking me to listen to it in 2017 and go back to 04
Yes.
to
Yeah.
kind of, you know,
Yeah.
so that's
hard.
It's hard,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why. It's the only reason why I'm questioning.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like it's hard to put myself back in that time.
But you
13
did
years
though.
later.
But you did. And think about what came out.
I know,
But you also gotta think about what came out in the underground. Like, I feel like this wasn't an album that your average rap fan was just like, oh yeah, this is dope.
No.
Like,
you got to
this-
get put on to this,
Right.
And I wasn't put on to it.
Yeah.
So this was like the quintessential nerdy rap album.
Right.
It was like, it still sounded like a comic book. It still had those cartoon G.I. Joe type samples, but it was an MC that was so intent and so focused on every single line that it was just amazing.
And talk about the run he was on, like in
Bro,
the period
yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
At
he
the time,
had, he
it was
had,
like
he
every
released.
album.
This is one out of 3 albums that he released that year,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That year? That
Yeah, he
year.
released 3.
Holy shit! I
He
didn't know
released
that.
three.
Listen to this album. I didn't, man. Like this dude took me on a ride these like that 3-year period, man. Because when he came out when I knew he was making this with Madlib, I was like, holy shit. Because I already knew by me following Stones, so I was already like a huge Madlib fan. I'm like Madlib and Jay Dilla was like. They were like it for me, so I'm like, so to hear that these two was making an album together, I was nerding out.
See, I was the opposite. I didn't know who Madlib was.
Oh,
Because at the time it was like I didn't really pay that hard of attention to producers.
Okay.
Not like
That's
you.
fair, that's fair enough,
So
that's fair
I would just hear the albums and just be like MC,
Yeah.
MC,
Yeah.
MC.
No.
So to me, this is just another MF Doom
Another
album.
MF Doom album. I got
yeah.
you. But it was a great Madlib show that he was
he
not.
did.
He was a star on this show as well. But MF Doom, you talk about like Cool Keith on freaking steroids,
Yes.
dude. Like the way that this dude was rhyming, just when it starts off with accordion, I was like,
accordion
what
beat,
the
Jesus
hell
Christ.
is going on?
Come on, dog.
What
What
type
are
of
you
ride I'm
talking
about to be
about?
on? I'm like,
Yes.
dude, what's about to happen?
And
I
then his verse was just
Living on borrowed time,
slip
the
like
clock
40.
ticks
Yeah, oh my God, I'm fine. No, do your bar first. Do your bar first.
Living on borrowed time, the clock ticks faster.
Oh, wait a minute! Slip like Freudian. First and last step to play yourself like an accordion. Oh my God! Come on, man! Stop it! What the fuck?
Yes, dude. I was like, I didn't know what the fuck I was about to be on. Like, you know, like listen, I was like, dude, this dude about. Then Meat Grinder came on. Like the way,
That's another one.
Nah, me grind is dope as hell.
man, the way that Madlib just like soundscape this album from MF Doom.
Yeah.
Like every track had their own quirky like feel. Like nothing.
And that's
felt-
weird because it still fits.
And it still
It's
fits.
so crazy.
But how many MCs could do that? How many MCs could rhyme perfectly smooth? Like MF Doom is not choppy. He's butter smooth. Over beats like this,
dude.
who could do that? Like that's like LP is choppy. Like the dudes who rap over like even Cool Keith is
Kool Keith,
choppy.
Yeah.
This dude,
Kool Keith on steroids, man.
Jesus Christ.
That was the first. When I first heard MF Doom, like Operation Doomsday, I was like, this is because I didn't know about him when he was KMD. I didn't know about that. I just knew about him on Operation Doomsday. With this album, man, I was like, God damn. I was like, what type of run? I was like, this is probably one of the most impressive runs I think I've ever seen. For as far as an MC, as far as like in that 3-year span, because I was already going off of MM Food. I'm like, wait a minute, you gonna fuck around and release this shit?
And they almost didn't. Remember the shit that leaked? The shit leaked. And
MF,
yes, a parts of it leaked, I think, the year before, and they just stopped working on it. and they weren't gonna drop this shit at all.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And then also two people to piggyback of your point, Madlib. Another way that Madlib kind of showcased himself as well is he brought out Quasimodo, which is also it's like an alter ego
features
for
himself
features
on his
himself
album.
on his own album. So that high pitch.
I'm gonna get you again, but go ahead.
Oh, that was him?
That high pitched
Yeah,
voice,
that.
the high pitched voice you heard rhyming, that's Madlib.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
known as Quasimodo.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I said.
I didn't know that
Man, I was
either.
a Madlib. I was a
You
Madlib
didn't know
nerd.
Madlib was Quasimodo?
No, I didn't know until like later on. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, at the time, you
Yeah.
didn't know. Oh, I didn't know either at the time. No.
I'm like a Madlib. Like, yeah.
But I thought the whole Victor Vaughn shit was super dope. So where Victor Vaughn
And he made it
is
album.
rhyming about his girl cheating on him with MF Doom.
Fancy
Victor
Clown, right?
Vaughn, yeah, Fancy Clown.
That's my shit.
But the dopest shit that I didn't even know until way later. And I don't even know if this is just like some nerdy rap shit that I created in my head. But when you listen to that song, it to me sounds like Doom is rhyming slightly different as Victor Vaughn. It's like he enunciates his words differently. So you know that it's a different person. Like that's how just fucked up this dude is in his head.
How genius that
That's
shit
how
is,
genius
though,
of an
man.
MC he is. He slightly tweaks his words so you can tell, oh, this isn't Doom rapping.
Right.
This is Victor Vaughn rapping. Mad at Doom because Doom fucked his girl. Come on, man.
That shit. And what you think about
Come on, man.
what you think about Metaphor
Hey,
of Parade?
hey.
Well,
I didn't know who Metaphor was at the time either.
Yeah, MED.
Now I know it's MED, but I was
Yeah.
just like, man, this dude is rapping.
That was my first time he introduced
Oh,
him.
me
I was
too.
like, who the fuck? So every time I see MED, I'm like, oh, that's my man from the, he do work with Madlib, but
Yeah.
I thought he was perfect. Rhinestone Cowboys, the way that he was
Shit.
he was. Okay, for one, how do Madlib make a crowd cheering as a backdrop of a beat?
Thank you.
And then you have freaking MF Doom rap completely different. Like every song, MF Doom was rapping so different. His flow patterns was so crazy. Especially that damn second verse where he was like
Yeah,
something
Figaro was
booty
dope.
boo boo something.
Curls was
Yes.
And then of course all caps. I remember when I
Yeah,
heard
all
that
cap-
beat
oh, man.
on Adult Swim. And I used to watch Boondocks and then all them other shows, and I heard that shit on Adult Swim. I'm like, holy shit, that's Madlib, dude. That's all caps. And I'm like, Madlib.
So like I want to have a question for y'all too. Like, so how? Obviously, you kind of answered it, but I just want to kind of hear your take. But like, how did y'all find out about MF Doom? Like, how did y'all like catch it?
Well, I was stoned.
I know you, but I'll let B go first. So Stone's Throw, because you already kind of
Yeah.
said it.
I was already on that whole
Yeah.
camp, like just
Right.
everything that Loop Digger, like all that's part of Madlib's crew. He was a part of at first.
And Stone's
During-
Throw for me,
Yeah,
DJ
Stone's
just-
Throw. Oh, I'm sorry.
So the guy DJ Jamar Afromentals, because that's how I first heard Stacey L. So
Okay.
way back when I moved to Atlanta, they in the underground they had like this mixtape shop where you can go in. This when you had to buy mixtapes on CDs. So you would go in, you'd go to the underground, you would go in and you would walk through the underground. It's on the top level. You go all the way to the back and take a right, and there was a hip hop shop in there, and all they sold was mixtape. And my roommate was a hip hop head, so he used to play all like that underground shit.
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
I would get shit from him. But the Afromental series was how I heard Stacey Epps and a lot of like neo soul type, underground type shit that blended together. So we have kind of like the sound of a Madvillainy mixed with like a Stacey Epps and Thievery Corporation, Massive Attack, and he would just blend all of this shit together. And his name was DJ Jamar, and he would put out these mixtapes. And I was following Stone's Throw as well. But my roommate, man, he was big into all that stuff. He was a big Common fan. Like, I want to say Accordion kind of had like a Common type feel with that beat. A little bit from the like Water from Chocolate. So it kind of had like a Jay Dilla feel. Yeah. I'll have to play it for you, but I have to play it for you. But yeah, when I was listening to it, I was like, damn, that kind of doom. It kind of gave me like not a Come Close, but one of the beats from like Water for Chocolate. But yeah, my roommate, man, like back then, that's how you kind of get put on to stuff. Like you follow a label, or you have somebody else be like, yo, you need to listen to this. Or you hear your roommate listen to it. And the thing about this album, because it's different from Urban Legend, because I also have my other friends that listen to all the Jeezy, the T.I., the Atlanta shit. And then you have your other roommates that listen to the underground shit. So it was like a balance for me. But the thing about this one is like it had a certain level of cool to it that I can't explain. Like, you can play it out loud around people and it sounds fine. It didn't sound like that super underground nerdy shit, but it was all Madlib's beats that kind of
I don't feel like you could have bumped this though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't be in the dorm room just bumping this album, or in a car just bumping.
Played at a gathering.
Nah,
not at a gathering, but you could play. Like, I can ride around to this, and then it has.
But you talking about ride around bumping it though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how we ride around bumping, like, say, a urban legend. Like, you can play it loud and you want people to hear it. This isn't something that you would like play like that.
It's acquired.
I see what you guys saying, but it is an acquired taste. But I think that's what I liked about it, though.
Yeah.
Nah.
I've always been one of the guys that like to play the shit that nobody else is really kind of listened to. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So for me to play something like this and out loud, like, it wouldn't fit with the urban legends and the Jeezys and some of the people that I was with. But some of the other people that I knew at the time, it would. But again, you just kind of playing stuff out loud. For me, I'm telling you, it sounds good playing it out loud on speakers.
Well, no one's disagreeing with that.
No, yeah. Right. I'm talking about with other people.
Right.
Like, you know,
I think it depends on who, though.
Your average rap fan is not going to be like, oh, this is smooth. They're going to be like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, I think some of the guys I hung around with, they were like, they listened to the Jeezys and the stuff like that, but when I would play some of the other underground shit when they were around, they were. I
just can't imagine just sitting around playing this with some of even my closest friends. No. It's just not one of those albums to me.
I could, but I don't see how y'all hanging out with like regular ass Negroids.
Right.
They're gonna be like, yeah, man, this shit bump.
Remember, like,
trying to bob their head.
That's right. No, you know. But some of the beats, like Meat Grinder and stuff like that. Some of it.
Accordion. I feel like your average rap fan that they turn it on, the second they heard accordion, they be like, oh no.
No.
Well, yes, but I don't think that we're like. It depends on what we're doing. Like, but I don't think we're running around just like thugging it out or some shit like that.
No, I got you. I get you.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you're just sitting around the crib just chilling, and you don't want to listen to all that shit. Remember, I said about Jeezy, like, I didn't understand Jeezy, but some of the people that I was around, that's what they played, and I was playing like the shit outside of that because I was like, why this motherfucker saying the same shit twice? So it took me a while to kind of get onto like the Atlanta shit that they were playing. I wasn't really rocking with that like that.
I didn't have homies that was putting me onto underground shit.
I didn't either that, and we in the same boat.
So I didn't really know that this whole underground was so huge in hip hop like that, because I never knew anybody that would put me on.
And the difference is like I was listening to like and I know Mike and I have this argument. I was listening to other kind of underground shit, like Squad Up mixtapes, shit like that.
Like 500 Degrees.
It's like Lil Wayne and he had a clique that never made it commercially, but they were dope as fuck. Like they were just like almost better than Wayne.
And we had pirate radio stations in Florida at the time. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of underground stuff, but it was just different underground stuff.
Yeah.
And the only person that I hung out with at around this time that was into underground stuff was Nano. But just to your point, he never played this around me. You know what I'm saying? Like we had common threads like T.I. and some Jeezy. He doesn't really love Jeezy like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like he never put me on. Like he always tried to put me on to Vinny Paz and some other people, but he never put me on.
Because that would be easier to transition. Like if you like Jeezy, I feel like a Vinny Paz is an easier transition. But if you
more so
absolutely, because they rap over the same type of beats, especially now. I'm not talking about fucking psychosocial Jedi Mind, but like later, absolutely. But if you're talking about an MF Doom, I wouldn't play this for you and be like, oh man, take this shit, you might like it. No. I didn't know who MF Doom was. My roommate, Scott, we were all punk kids, but he started getting more into like super underground indie rap. And he brought home that record that had MF Doom and MF Grimm, even though I can't think of the name of it right now. But the cover is like both of them.
Special Her or something?
No,
that's the instrumentals. Yeah.
No. This album would have both of them. They were like playing chess in like a New York park or some shit. I just can't think of the name of it. He brought that home, and I was like, "Who is this?" He's like, "Oh, this is Doom," and I'm like, "Doom who?" And he's like, "Zev Love X," and I'm like, "Oh shit! Wait, what? This is Zev Love X?" I had no idea. So then it was like, okay, let me go backwards, and then I started finding Operation Doomsday, yeah, that's it. I didn't have a name. And then I just, like I said, Operation Doomsday, M Food, and I was just like, oh my God, how was I missing this? Even though I wasn't late, because it was like 2001 or whatever. So then from that point, I was just like, anything Doom did.
Madvillain.
Yeah, it was like anything this dude did, I was on it. And it's been like that ever since. Like, I think that he's one of the best MCs to ever pick up a mic. Easily. There's no fucking question. And anybody that told you different, I feel like they're not listening to lyrics. They're not listening to flow and rhyme patterns. Like, this dude's rhyme patterns on this shit, like the internal rhymes, people credit like Eminem with doing that kind of shit, which he does do that.
Yeah.
But I would love to see if M actually says like, yo, like Doom was a big influence.
He's never said it?
Not that I've seen. And it might not. It could just be a coincidence.
Yeah.
But if you look at these things where they break down M's lyrics and be like, oh, he rhymes this word with this word, this word. Doom does the same shit.
Right.
Like, you're talking about curls. Like, if you listen to the rhyme patterns in that fucking jam, just try to not even pay attention to the lyrics. Just look at the way he's rhyming his shit. Like, pull up Rap Genius and just look at how villains get the money like curls. They just squirrels trying to get a nut in this mad world. Like, it's fucking crazy. He's looking at me like, what the fuck are you even talking about? No, but it's seriously, it's so, and he's right. We can get back to the beats now. The way the beat was changing, and Doom is still his flow doesn't really.
It don't matter. It just don't lose pocket of nothing at all.
No,
right in pocket
it's crazy.
I was like, what the fuck?
No, I feel like no MC that I can think of since him can do it as smoothly as he does. Like any other MC, I feel like they have to tweak their flow for something like that.
Right.
He just goes. And somehow his flow just, it works. No matter how the beat changes, his flow is just like this. It's just smooth as fuck. Like every backpack nerd at the time, you know, we should have brought on fucking Lukey Cage for this shit. Like he'll know what I'm talking about. Like any indie rap nerd fan at the moment, when this came out, everyone was like, oh
this was like what the fuck? Yeah, it was like the end all be all.
Yes, and then it was like the next album will come out and be like, what the fuck? How do you keep doing this? And it was just mind-boggling.
It was crazy.
No MC
I've
was
never seen no run
as
like that.
fucked up. Yeah,
Never seen that run like that. That was crazy.
Why do you think it's a classic?
I guess listening to these guys and comparing it to everything that was out at the time, this is, like I said, when I gave my little spiel, it's completely different. I still, for me, I don't know if I could put that as a classic. For me personally, I will respect anybody that says it is, because this is a dope ass project. It's just hard for me to, I don't know, in a classic realm. You know what I'm saying? I can't give it that seal of approval.
Yeah,
but this is super dope. Like I don't want my words to take away from the dopeness of this project, because I understand the dopeness of the project.
Yeah, I think if you look at what was out, I mean, I think one of the easiest thing to look at what was out then, you know, and look at where this landed, and you could start there, because what came after was like one of the darkest times in hip hop. And yeah, and we actually had this before that happened. And you know, if you were listening to stuff like that, yeah, you probably were pissed off when you kind of went downhill. Because you were like, man, we had so much dope stuff that was coming out at the time, you know, on the underground scene, and then to just go to that, it was very disappointing. But you still had this to go to, so it has a timeless sound to it. From the technical part of it, from the rapping and the producing and stuff like that, there's something for the nerdy hip hop fan to like. For me, I like the like I said, I think there's a certain level of cool to it that you can play around other people, and that's what I like. And I have friends that were mainstream and love the mainstream stuff, but I felt like, and I was able to actually play this around them. And then just the fact to have people like put you on to something, because that was back in the day when people would put you on to something that you probably didn't even hear. And that was also a fun part of hip hop, like the art, the discovering new music, and to hear something like, wow.
The fact that these two, you know, got together and craft such a wonderful, to me, such a wonderful album, just from the rhyme scheme and the beat making, and just like their whole marriage through this album between Madlib and MF Doom is crazy. The run that both of these artists, I know I kept stressing MF Doom, but even Madlib, the run that he was on with the Beat Conductor series, and him doing an album with Jay Dilla, Champion Sound, like just all that run that they was doing, and then they just to take a break and stop and come and make this great art, man, is amazing. I mean, yeah, flawless album. I love it from front to back. I don't know what I can say about this, man. This shit is amazing.
I think at least what made this a classic for me is just because when this came out, within like a few months, everybody that was listening to underground rap had heard it. And I think that's easy to think about now, but when you're thinking about 2004, when the internet was not this strong thing, I know a lot of kids don't understand that. But back then, it was like you heard music by either word of mouth, or you bought magazines, or you had snail mail with pen pals that were just like, listen to this, oh, I never heard of this. So for this album to come out and blow up the underground the way it did, I think makes it a classic. You know, I mean, I think that we hadn't heard anything really do that since like Cold Vein. Like, not that I can remember, at least. I'm sure there were plenty of others, because I mean, Rawkus was still doing his thing. You know, Stone's Throw, I wasn't paying attention to the label like that. But, you know, and Roots were doing their thing too, and they were still a fairly underground group at the time.
Right.
But I remember this album just coming out and just everyone was just like, have you heard Madvillainy? Have you heard Madvillainy? Have you heard Madvillainy? So, other than that, I don't really know a way to quantify this as a classic for your average rap fan. I just know from a nerdy rap, underground backpacker perspective, when this shit came out, it set shit on fire. It really did. Like, everyone was like, who the fuck is, how is he doing this?
Yes.
How is he rapping like this? Oh my God, these beats, how are they choppy but they're still smooth? And how is he not having to rap choppy? Like, I don't know, man. It's one of those albums that, like B said, you're speechless, because it's just something you had to feel at the time. And it's like, it's one of those things that I'm just glad that I was part of that, where I was like talking to y'all and y'all were talking about Kanye, and I was like, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I missed all of that.
That's how I feel about
You know what I
this.
mean?
Like the same way you felt about college.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about this.
Exactly. It's like you had to have been there. So when y'all are telling me now about the Kanye wave, I'm like, damn, I just really fucked up. Doom is one of those waves that if you weren't there, you just kind of missed it.